This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Oh, fiddlesticks!
What, Wilbur?
We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What?
Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What?
Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Party of it's drinking time!
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast a truly unidentified man. But first, a quick history lesson. In 79 AD, the ancient city of Pompeii was buried in volcanic ash when Mount Vesuvius erupted. You've heard the story. The bodies of over 1,000 inhabitants have been frozen in time, forever preserved in the position they were in when ash rained down from the sky. And some of the people were clutching each other. Some were sleeping. But one of them, our honoree today, discovered 1,943 years after his death, was actively masturbating. You see, when they found him, he's on his back, right hand gripping the base of his junk. Ash landed on him, and now we don't know who he is. We don't know his name, but what we do know, he was punching the clown when the volcano blew up. And you got to think, that's a hell of a legacy to leave behind. Mike, I believe you posted the story to social media.
I did.
Yeah, go there. Just take a look at the picture of this guy. It's a bad look, man. You're preserved.
That's awful.
You saw it?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I can't, it's bad enough getting caught, but what was it, 6,000 years ago?
1,900 years ago.
Right, so almost 2,000 years ago, and oh man, Ted got caught.
That's what we find.
And he was having a relaxing one, laying down.
We've all been in that position. And look, man, they found over 1,000 bodies. He's the only guy having his way with himself. But we were trying to figure out, was he doing this when the volcano blew? Or did he know that his time was up and said, hell with it, I'm getting one last toss?
Do we know what time of day that volcano blew?
They do, actually, and I don't remember the time.
Because I mean, it's the morning. I'm assuming he's not out of bed yet.
That could be it. Either way, goddamn, I was looking at that picture like, bro, that's how you will forever be preserved.
Yes.
We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Steve Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
Hola! All right, Patrick, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
All right, you have your choice then of one of three stories, The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me, in other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guys see foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
I'm going to switch it up and go Bite Me.
Just eat it, get yourself an egg and beat it.
All right, don't bite me a little bit different this time, because as I research different stories for this game, I come across a lot of different scenarios that involved the same offending thing being found in people's food. So mouse droppings, spiders, Band-Aids, and quite honestly, a shockingly high number of severed fingers show up a lot. But today we're talking condoms, prophylactics, gym hats, the French letter opener, love gloves. And so my question to you is, what?
Did we get Jimmy hats?
I did get Jimmy hats.
Okay, my bad.
I got Jimmy hats, French letter openers, love gloves. Is there anything else you want to add? Meat sheath.
Shield.
The shield, right. Raincoat. But either way.
A slicker.
The slicker. I just want to know, which of these food items was a condom not found in? All right, which one was it not found in? And then I'll share a brief synopsis of the three that it was, okay? So, which one of these was a condom not found in? Was it French fries, clam chowder, a Big Mac,
Oh, God.
or yogurt? So French fries, clam chowder, Big Mac. Three of those have made it to the news where someone found a condom, used or not, in their food. Only one of them has no one reportedly found a condom in their food. So French fries, clam chowder, Big Mac, or yogurt.
Oh, haven't found.
Have not.
Oh, I'm saying Big Mac.
Going Big Mac?
Yep. That seems like an easy one to me. I could see how it would sneak into clam chowder.
How?
Yeah, and yogurt.
Yeah. I mean, it's yogurt and clam chowder are already kind of sensual.
Clam chowder central. Hey, baby.
Okay.
Get on your bag.
Nobody would call me out on that one.
I'm going to dump this clam chowder on you.
Patrick, I'm going to go yogurt. Based on the fact, here's my thought. It's sealed. Hopefully. It's made in a factory. I'm not saying it couldn't get in there somehow. But you have an employee with French fries, clam chowder, and Big Mac who might put a condom in the food, right?
Look, I can't argue your theory. I just refuse to believe it ended up in a Big Mac.
Well, I'm going to go yogurt. Patrick, what are you doing here?
I'm thinking French fry.
French fries. Okay.
What are you thinking, Ted?
The Big Mac.
Big Mac. Okay, final answer, French
All
fries,
right.
Patrick.
French fries, let's go.
One of these did not have a condom in it. Was it French fries, clam chowder, a Big Mac, or yogurts?
That was a tease.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
The category is Bites Me on Profile This. So there's been so many stories, as you said, Steve, about people finding condoms in their food.
Correct.
They are everywhere. So in this instance, you kind of flip the script a little bit, and we're going to have to choose, with no real story involved, just as far as food items are concerned, which food did not have a condom in it? Mm-hmm. Is it French fries, clam chowder, a Big Mac, or yogurt?
And Patrick, that is the very question that we put for you, and you said French fries. In 2009, 7-year-old Swiss girl found a condom among her McDonald's fries. The local cops determined the prophylactic to be, quote, a health risk.
Good call.
Don't say. So it was, in fact, in the French fries. Miles Montgomery? No, the Ted Smith. You went Big Mac.
I went with the Big Mac.
You went Big Mac. Easton, Pennsylvania, in 1999. A Big Mac was the food. Customer William Smith, any relation?
No.
Discovered a condom between the buns. And the manager on duty, well, he gave him 2 coupons. But that did not stop him from filing a suit in which he claimed to have suffered physical and emotional illness. By the way, someone who lives in Easton points out that there's a condom shop in the same mini mall as the McDonald's. So not a used condom. They believe it probably fell out of an employee's pocket.
I'm impressed it's that old, because I feel like if this had happened recently, I would know about it.
Right. Let's see. The other options were yogurt and clam chowder. Well, in 2002, a woman in Irvine, California, was enjoying a bowl of restaurant clam chowder when she bit down on something rubbery, no pun intended. For the moment, she thought it was calamari. When she spat it out, well, that's when she discovered something that did not elicit her pleasure, a condom. The woman sued and won an undisclosed settlement from the restaurant. The correct answer, yogurt. That is correct. That's the one item that a condom has not been found in
Mike, Steve,
yet.
and I are at a lunch before flying out on a job interview to get this job, right? I get the seafood clam chowder.
Okay.
It was a little rubbery.
No, we were in town.
We were in town here, all right? We're getting ready to fly out. I order seafood clam chowder.
All right.
Bad idea.
Sure.
Steve heard all the squeaking going on in my mouth because
It's like you ordered pencil erasers.
all the seafood was so rubbery by the time that it was cooked in the clam chowder. I was like,
Keep in mind,
that was the first thing that came to my mind when you said clam chowder. I was like, just the sound, because we all wanted to throw up. It was the sound that was coming out of my mouth.
this is not a joke. This is our major interview. It's our last hurdle to get or not get the job here in Seattle. And our boss, Hair Club, at the time, is now introducing us to the then general manager,
Melissa.
So we're like, oh, Jesus Christ, right? We've just never been in this position before. And we had gone out and got messed up the night before. And so
we're hurting.
It's not like
we're leaving the hotel to go meet them for lunch. And the last thing I did before we left the hotel, I said, dude, I got to make myself throw up. Right? So I'm puking in the bathroom, and I remember it's a Starbucks mocha that I could taste because I just had one. We get to the restaurant. We're trying to play like we're not still drunk / hungover.
She's also going to interview us.
Right. And Miles gets this goddamn clam chowder, man.
Clam chowder.
And I hear him chewing this. And my stomach is just like, and I keep looking at him like,
the calamari rings.
either swallow it or stop chewing it.
The clams. It was all just so rubbery.
It was so gross.
It's like chewing on a tire.
I'd almost rather chew on the fucking condom is what I was thinking.
But we got the job.
Well, yeah.
I do not know how.
Miles, you're one of my friends that makes odd hungover food choices.
We was in Alaska. Where the hell were we leaving? We were leaving somewhere. Same situation, man. Everyone's still drunk / hungover because you're getting a morning flight. Everyone feels like crap. Well, places are starting to open in the airport. And we're like, sweet, man, we can finally get some food. And it was Denver. And Miles goes, man, I'm getting some chili dogs.
Well, that was New Orleans.
Was that New Orleans?
New Orleans.
But
They're like basically out of like oh, God.
But I remember our boss specifically, Miles goes, hey, man, they got chili dog. Our boss, and he's pale as hell. I mean, he feels like we do. And he just looks at Miles and goes, man, please don't. Please don't.
No.
Miles comes back, 2 goddamn chili dogs. It's like,
Yes. What did you get? Calamari one night in the Towson Diner? It was calamari and...
No, we got chicken wings, bowl of soup, and burgers.
Okay, all right.
Not so bad.
For some reason, I thought it was like calamari pancakes and just some other weird combination. Maybe I'm wrong.
Don't put me in your weird stuff.
All right, sorry.
Yeah,
Time TV, time of 10.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. Seth Meyers.
Mr. Myers.
The Jimmies.
Alan Kibble.
Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there. The title. These guys have teams of talented writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola are teaming up to release a Jack and Coke cocktail in a can. Finally, we don't have to go through that exhausting task of mixing Jack and Coke.
Fallon.
Yeah, Fallon.
Yeah, it's Fallon.
Coca-Cola is teaming up with Jack Daniels to release a Jack and Coke cocktail in a can.
Ooh, there it is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Finally, we no longer have to go through that exhausting task of mixing Jack with Coke.
He's right.
Right, of all the drinks. Like, hey, man.
Whoa, thank God someone can make this thing right.
It's a funny joke. I will say that as somebody that drinks some of those canned cocktails sometimes, it's just a matter of you can't bring...
It's convenient.
Right. And if you're tailgating or something, you might not have bottles of liquor. Maybe you're at a place where they say no liquor. I could bring in a can of Jack and Coke.
I'm going to make fun of it, Ted, and I'm going to buy it, Ted.
It's almost like you might as well.
All right.
You know, like,
Listen,
well,
I'm going to make fun. It's going to be in the fridge.
If it's that way, they might as well just put it in a vest that you wear underneath your shirt with a straw coming out that you can suck on. You know, like, if you're sneaking it in.
NBA forward Montrezl Harrell has been charged with drug trafficking after cops say they found 3 pounds of weed in his car during a traffic stop in May in Kentucky. But in his defense, where else was he going to buy weed in Kentucky? Or get weed in Kentucky, sorry.
The Ted Smith. Kentucky has good weed. I'll say you, Ted.
That is me. I like that he was he said he had a small personal amount, but they found 3 pounds.
What sport does he play?
Well, he is an NBA.
His perspective, this is a personal amount.
That state's kind of messed up on their laws as far as what is okay or not, because they're trying to... Basically, it comes down to the bourbon guys.
Yeah.
They just shut the door on that pretty quick.
Forbes magazine announced last week that Tiger Woods is officially a billionaire, leaving him no choice but to start a company and launch himself into space.
Foul.
Yeah, fella.
Myers.
Forbes magazine announced last week that golfer Tiger Woods is officially a billionaire, leaving him no choice but to start a company to launch him into space.
Netflix has officially confirmed a second season of Squid Game is coming soon. If you forgot what happened in season 1, congratulations. The therapy is working.
Myers.
Yes, that's Myers.
Fallon.
Damn it. I got some big entertainment news. Netflix has officially confirmed that a second season of Squid Game is coming soon. So if you forgot what happened in season 1, congrats. That means therapy's working.
The Labor Department announced on Friday that inflation has hit a new 40-year high. Now you pay the amount for a banana at the grocery store as you used to pay for a banana at an airport Starbucks.
Fallon. Myers.
That is Seth Myers.
The Labor Department announced on Friday that inflation has hit a new 40-year high. You will now pay the same amount for a banana at the grocery store as you used to pay for a banana at an airport Starbucks.
Those bananas do get crazy.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody here watch Squid Games? I don't remember.
Yes, I watched it.
That's right.
Mike,
Okay.
you watched Squid Game, didn't you? He can't hear me.
Sorry, what?
Did you ever watch Squid Game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you never watch it?
I never watched
It's
it.
called calamari.
All right. So is it worth watching? One. Got
Yes.
2 questions. Okay. Second question, because I've heard people on both sides of the fence in this. Subtitles or dubbed?
I want subtitles.
Okay.
Or did I go subtitles or I?
Oh,
no.
the question is,
I think I ended up.
I was dubbed.
I went dubbed. People
Okay.
get mad at me, but sometimes like.
but there's a lot of action to watch. My understanding
Correct.
is you need to see what's going on.
Now, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of action while people are talking, other than the standard, look out,
right.
be careful, that kind of crap. So you can watch it subtitled if you'd like to.
Now,
reading while I'm watching something has never been my favorite thing. So I
say that all the time. It's like people who won't try sushi, right? We say the same thing all the time, but then you realize once you're watching a movie that has subtitles, if you like the movie, you forget that you're reading subtitles, right?
Well,
I really do.
I pick and choose, right? So like Narcos, I love, right? Now a lot of Narcos is in Spanish.
Yeah.
So that you just watch with the subtitles. But like Squid Game, something that's totally in a different language, I just watch it dubbed over.
Okay. Yeah, I plan on doing the dub.
I end up reading instead of seeing what's going on the screen. If that
Right,
makes sense.
or like sometimes like you know what I mean? Like if you bend down to like take a sip or something, or just put your head down
Right.
and you miss something, it's like, damn it, I gotta reverse it.
I mean, I get mad at the beginning of Star Wars. I put all that text up. Like, just narrate it.
God, that thing goes so fast.
What, I got to read it, man? Long time ago. Just say it.
Yeah,
I
but
consider myself a quick reader. That thing outruns me every damn time.
But it sends a chill up my spine every time I see it. It doesn't matter which movie it is. When they start that music and
There's a hype to it.
That thing rolls up. I'm like, here we go. Yeah.
It just makes me think of Family Guy.
Those were great movies, too.
All right, James Corden. He said that he's going to go back to the UK to be closer to his family after the Late Late Show on the CBS wraps up next spring. Honestly, look, he's
British.
He is British,
Say
correct?
British when you're not sure.
All right, yeah.
I think he's English. I think he's English.
But I'm not positive. He could be Welsh or...
Hence British.
Yeah, or Scottish. His production company partner Ben Turner said James has just got so many strings on his bow, and Late is a big commitment that's taken up so much of his time. They're excited for him to move back and stuff that entails. It's a big moment for us. He hasn't given like specific details on what he's done there, but like we know him from that show. He's been in. There was some other stuff. It's everything, but like
he was.
He's
famous.
a massive star across the pond.
He was a huge star in the UK before he came here, and now he's an international star. Good for him. Quick question. How is it that every late night talk show host on television, and from David Letterman, Jay Leno, to Stephen Colbert, to James Corden, they all have their own production company? Have you ever noticed that? Like, you get the gig to host the show, and that's the network's decision. They go, Miles, you're hosting the CBS Late Show. Somehow, by the time your show debuts, you have your own production company that somehow handles it.
I think I have the answer.
All right, part of it is just you got to do so much. Like I know James Corden, like it's on him to go out and find who's going to run his band. That's where he found, who was it, Reggie Watts.
So that's why, okay,
So
that
I
makes
think once
sense.
you
though.
get
That makes
those
sense.
jobs, there's so much, it's like, all right, we're
You
going
got
to pay
the
you this
job.
much. You got to kind of get the team together.
I think
Okay.
I think they're all taking a page from Letterman and what happened to him when he went from NBC to CBS.
But then you
So-
have Worldwide Pants at NBC as well.
He did not have full ownership over the bits, the people,
right.
all the
Okay,
things. That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
it was the world's most dangerous band, and it was a late night band.
CBS
They had
ordered
to
it.
change
Right.
all the stuff just based on the fact that they own that. NBC owned Larry Bud Melman,
Right, so-
as a person, so he couldn't even go over
Right,
part
right.
of that thing. So I think people just want to make sure that it's like
They own their creation.
That's all.
Okay. That makes sense.
Well, it does.
How do you think Larry Bud Melman felt? If you don't know who he is, it doesn't matter. The point is, he was kind of this recurring character that showed up at Letterman when Letterman was on NBC. Letterman signs a contract, goes to CBS. NBC said, no, you can't have Larry Bud Melman. Fine, I get it. That's how corporations work. But that said, the only person who legitimately got screwed, Larry Bud Melman. Because it's not like he did other things. You know what I mean? Like, he just did Letterman. They said, you can't have him. And in the end, that guy ends up, I can say he's unemployed. I don't know that to be true. But the point is, the reason we knew him, it's not like he showed up in commercials. Right. It's not like he showed up on Leno's show. It'd be
the equivalent of this. If Amazon or Apple want to get in a late night game, they sign Jimmy Kimmel.
All right.
In this instance, Guillermo would have to, he's an ABC employee. So
right.
He can't go. So I think that's why this.
Right, if it was like, maybe, you know what, that's a good point. That might be exactly why they're all just like, I'm my own production company.
Because
so
that way I at least have the freedom.
Which is also just so petty.
And,
Nothing comes out of that. Like, you're just trying to piss people off.
Right,
but
it's
also,
not like,
corporations run our country. Corporations can do what they can because they have the money.
Non-compete. So
Yeah,
that's a perfectly good example of that in our workforce.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Let's see. Amber Heard. You know what? Here's my thing with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. All right. I think they're both kind of bad people. I think they were both right. I think they were both terrible in that relationship. I did not realize how much people, for some reason, love Johnny Depp. To me, he's always just been kind of a strange actor. People were real fired up. But Amber Heard, she finally talked about it a little bit, and I give her credit for this. She's like, look, I don't blame the jury. She's like, I understand. He's a beloved character. People feel they know him, but he's a fantastic actor. That's the other problem. You have two actors on stands. What was I going to say? But yeah, I mean, it just seemed like everybody was against it. I think it's interesting, that they basically had the same case in England, which she won.
Right.
And then they had it here in the States, and they specifically picked Virginia, which again, I think was hilarious. 20 minutes from my brother's house. So it's like, I guess a lot of people are like, oh, Johnny Depp, he's vindicated this and that. It's like, well, that court was in his side. The other court wasn't. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why people cared so much.
I literally do not care at all. I understand that it was going on. I heard about it every day. For me, it's just, look, it's a very personal thing between the two of them. Let them figure it out, whatever. But they made it public, so it is what it is. But the other thing I'll say to Amber Heard right now, like, look, I know you're doing the, I don't want to call it the tour, but let me comment on the trial that went down, because it was a very big thing. But also, like, Amber, no matter what happened in the trial, the only reason anyone is even remotely interested in you right now, and this is not taken away from her acting ability or anything like that, it's because of the trial.
Yeah.
What are the odds? What are the odds that you be sitting down in front of Savannah Guthrie or whatever dip ass they have interviewing you about all this garbage if it wasn't for the trial? So at least when you get to express yourself, and I understand you're frustrated, that's fair. But just know, most of us, when we go through garbage, we don't get to go on national TV to tell it. And I understand, but
it's spin control.
I know.
It's the same way people say framing a conversation. Like, right, you're trying to line up other people's lies with your BS. I shouldn't say lie. It might not be a lie, but it's not the truth.
Right.
So that's what she's doing now. Her team's like, hey, we got to get out in front of this, right? Because right now, if you look at social media, it seems like everybody's against her.
Which is crazy to me, too.
Right, I'm like, why is Johnny Depp
editor out of Aquaman? Like, why do you care about her relationship with Johnny freaking Depp, man? She's in a goddamn movie.
Right, she's just out there getting on spin control. And, the people, she was like, look, I'm not out of Aquaman 2. Like, that's just what people are saying.
You know the biggest winner in all this? Disney.
Why? Because they can put his ass back in the Pirates.
You know it. I mean, that's a big franchise.
You got sports in town tonight. You got the Sounders hosting Vancouver. That's always a good Cascadia match. The Mariners are in town. Pioneer Square is we jumping off tonight. Also, I know a lot of people like Mayans FC. That's the fourth season finale.
Ted, real quick.
What up?
Mike and I were talking about this early. We're going to go to the O's-M's game coming at the end of the month.
All right.
So the Oakland A's are the Oakland A's, but they're generally regarded as that in spite of being the Athletics. But everyone calls them the A's.
All right.
The Orioles, you can call them the Orioles or the O's. The Mariners are the Mariners or the M's. Are there any other just letter teams? Because no one calls the Marlins the M's, even in Florida. Because we were saying that today. Me and Mike are like, who else?
You're right. There's the M's,
There's the M's, the O's, the A's. Is there another?
The Pittsburgh Peas.
Right. I mean, no one says Pittsburgh. The Cincinnati
You're
R's.
right, like the Nationals are just the Nats.
Right. But just letter. We were trying to think of that today. I'm like, man, I think those are
I don't know.
the
Because
three
White
teams.
Sox, Red Sox, you just call them
Sox, right?
And I feel like the Red Sox own that one. Dang it. Oh, I hate getting annoyed with the sports question.
Minnesota
That's why I
Tees.
asked you.
The Tees.
Yeah.
The T's.
The T's and the P's. The Arizona Tees.
That's starting to happen now.
Dallas C's.
Oh.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Naked Louisiana man threatens bystander standards before going into a gas station and then pooping everywhere.
Oh, is that wrong?
Meanwhile, a Philadelphia senior condo shuts down the only elevator for 4 to 6 weeks, leaving many stuck up there. New study shocks no one by finding that binge drinking is not actually the healthiest thing. Turns out it was a beaver responsible for major power outage in D.C. this spring. A beaver. And in Scotland, a cow is seen waiting for a train to Cowden beef. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
And top story, we go to the UK, where a local parks department missed the mark. They, like most local councils, made the decision to allocate tax funds to put some artwork in one of the local parks and settled on a lovely wood carving that now stands in the park for all to enjoy. Unfortunately, nobody looked at the carving and realized that it looks way too much like a 20-foot wooden willy standing at attention.
Oh. Look, and I mean this. It could be the UK, it could be the US, anywhere. If you're going to come up with a sculpture that's even remotely phallic, invite like the local third grade classes.
Right.
And ask the boys what they see. And if they can't stop laughing, maybe pick a different piece of
The
art.
thing that makes it worse is that they had a very intricate and honestly beautiful carving in there of this great vine work with leaves and flowers and whatnot, but the vines were way too damn thick and went right up the center of the doggone thing. And it looks exactly like you think it does.
You got to think a lot of sculptors do it on purpose, right? There's the penis building directly next to where we work.
Right, he did that on purpose.
No, but remember, I know that now. But when we first moved to Seattle, it's pretty prominent on the skyline. Big, tall build. It's on the south end of the skyline. Brown building, green top. And when we first moved here, we were like, man, I'm not trying to be stupid, but like, seriously, that looks like a penis, right? And then we found out years and years later that the architect that designed it, because of some things that had gone down, did it on purpose. But they still let him build it.
Right.
It's an 800-foot tall penis. So if you think it looks like a penis, know that they wanted you to think, damn, that looks like a penis.
That looks an awful lot like a penis. We go to BC, Canada, where they have a troublesome beaver. In a very Canadian situation, locals of Prince Rupert suffered a massive power outage after a beaver downed a tree that fell right on both a hydro line and a fiber optic line, causing the massive outage. Crews were able to repair the damage in decent time, saying that it's not exactly common, but it is known to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's beavers felling trees, man.
Exactly. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thanks, sir. We appreciate it. More Men's Room is coming up next with a Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Yes, indeed, it's true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Visit Lowe's and take on the Pro Brand Challenge with the new Flex Stacked Lithium battery. More power, longer battery life, and faster charging. Plus, it's compatible with all Flex 24-volt power tools. Right now, the more Flex 24-volt tools you buy, the more you'll save. Get up to $150 off today. Stop by or visit us online and see Flex, exclusively at Lowe's. Valid 5/19 through 7/6. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusive versus National Home Centers for Flex 24-volt. U.S. only.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.